WKRN.com.
25 minutes to 8 in the morning in Baghdad, and it has been very calm. I don't know if we can get Richard Engel, our correspondent, there. We can? We cannot. Does this mean we've lost contact with Baghdad altogether? Does this mean he's out doing something? Okay, so our reporter is out reporting, which in itself says something, because one of the great concerns, certainly on behalf of the Pentagon and the Bush administration, was that American reporters all get out of Baghdad, and there was such there was an enormous amount of pressure, and also fair and honest warning from the senior military commanders that something very violent was going to be happen. And the hotel in the center of Baghdad, which we always use as a sort of spotting point, the Rashid Hotel, where we have been staying for several years and where we all stayed during the Gulf War, would be just altogether too dangerous a place to be. And in fact, we were told pretty directly by some of the military commanders that the Al Rashid Hotel was going to be a target, that they had seen it used by the military command over the years to put communications through or under, and it has not been hit today. And a lot of American reporters left and went to stay in other hotels. But we can't tell you any more about Baghdad at the moment. But we did hear some reporting earlier on tonight, and I'm going to move up to the northern part of the country again now, because we heard several hours ago that there was some activity in the north, up in Mosul, on the very edge of what the Kurds regard as their natural homeland, up in the northern no-fly zone, where the Kurds have been protected by U.S. and British aircraft, at least against Saddam Hussein. And we have with us in Washington, in our Washington bureau, Qubad Talabani, who is the son of Jalal Talabani, who is the head of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, one of the two large Kurdish organizations, movements in the country. Have you been in touch with various people in Kurdistan in the course of the day?
I have, yes, Peter.
And what do they say?
It's all pretty quiet on the northern front at the moment. People did hear the coalition jets in the sky around the Duhok area, which is about 20, 30 miles north of Mosul.
And what do you know about these explosions that we have at least heard about in the Mosul area?
I haven't had any confirmation of the explosions, but we have been hearing jets above, which means that there is quite a lot of activity up in the sky.
And do any of your contacts at least in your father's organization, have any awareness of what Iraqi troops are doing to the south of you? How far to the south of you do you think they actually are?
There are, on some areas they're quite close to our troops. There was some shelling in Chamchamal, which is right on the border with the Iraqi troops this morning. But all the action, as we've been watching, is in the south of the country.
We keep talking about the complications that you and your relationship with the Iraqis and the Turks represent in the north. First of all, are you worried at this point about being attacked by the Iraqis, or do you think that the Americans, in essence, will defend you?
We are worried about being attacked by the Iraqis. We are the least prepared for an attack by by the Iraqis. We see the neighboring countries stocking up with gas masks and protective equipment. We do not have such equipment in our territory. And without the large U.S. presence in the north, we are vulnerable from attacks by the Baghdad regime.
And more than anything, I think we've heard in the last couple of days that you're worried about the fact that the Turks may be coming in with many thousands of troops into the area, and the Turks and you regard each other as anything but friends.
Well, we regard each other as brothers. Brothers are imposed on each other. You don't get to choose your brothers. But there is some tension in the north with Turkey. But there have been discussions over the past several weeks with the United States and the Turks and the Kurdish forces and the Iraqi opposition as a whole. And we're confident that the messages that have been given to the Turkish government by the United States are strong and severe.
Why are you confident?